Welcome to the Transforming Healthcare Coaching Podcast, where we're all about helping healthcare professionals like you create positive change at work, at home, and everywhere in between. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Transforming Healthcare Coaching Podcast. And this week, for our Executive Leadership Coaching Podcast, we have Ndidi Musa, who is an executive coach and pediatric intensivist at Seattle Children's Hospital. And we're so excited about her talk in her interview today about developing coaching skills for future leaders in healthcare. And so it's a new year, it's a new time, and we're so glad that you're willing to come on our podcast and share with our audience about how you experienced coaching firsthand as a client, and then also how you then decide to go back to school, like myself, and become a coach yourself. And then now you've brought it back to your healthcare group and your hospital system. So I guess to get us started, tell us about your journey and how you decided to pursue training in executive coaching.
How people see or physicians see coaching. They see it with two lenses. One lens is if you're in leadership or you're an emerging leader, you get coaching to be a better leader. Everybody else is if you are a problem. So if you have issues with behavior, then they say, oh, go get coaching. So they see you as coaching as built for that. In a sense, that was the perception of coaching. So when I transitioned from Milwaukee Children's Hospital of Wisconsin to Seattle Children's Hospital, came in as an associate professor who had been established for a very long time. You come into a new system, you have ideas as to why the system was not performing the way that you are used to. You kind of are setting your ways. And for them, they felt like I was critical in the way I approached things. So I was assigned a coach because they felt that I didn't do things the way they do things here and my communication style was different. So I was upset when I heard that I was going to be assigned a coach because as far as I was concerned, I was not a problem to different. This was just a communication issue and I could learn how to communicate better. And I'd never actually been told that I wasn't communicating in a way that was not appropriate. So it was very difficult for me. But then I was talking to a physician friend of mine called Emmerich. He was Emmerich Palmer. He's a leader. And he said to me something that really transformed the way I thought I viewed coaching at the time. He said, look at it as an investment. An investment.
I love
That
that.
the word actually changed my perception and my approach to coaching. So I got my coach and I saw my coach as investing as the hospital and my coach partnering with me to invest in me. And that transformed my whole coaching experience. And I learned a lot about myself. I became very self-aware of how I present myself in places and spaces, and also how I responded. So it kind of transformed my approach to dealing with difficult people as well as people. My communication style improved. And then in 2020, after when the pandemic happened and we're not going to work, and I didn't really have an approach to what I was going to do next after medicine,
Mm-hmm.
And I started to think about it. And I attended a conference, a business conference. This was nothing to do with medicine. And I saw these people and I listened to what they had to say about being in the speaking, coaching, business training, leadership development phase. And I thought to myself, wow, they think differently. They have a growth mindset. They're always talking about investing in yourself. And so I decided I was going to invest in myself. And I thought to myself that what a good way to invest in myself than to become a coach, especially in medicine where we don't view coaching in a positive light other than for leadership. And I realized that that is actually what I would love to do, to create a culture of coaching within medicine. And I embarked on this journey of creating a culture of coaching. So I went to the Hudson Institute and I did 9 months to become an executive coach. And I completed my coach training. And I had the opportunity then to move on to approach the Department of Pediatrics to start an early career coaching program for them. At that time, they had decided that they were going to train leaders as coach. So they had invested in a few of the division heads and trained them as leaders as coach. And so I provided them an opportunity to coach the early career faculty. And that's how my journey started in coaching.
We have very similar paths, I think, because I think for me as well, the same thing happened in 2020 when all of our education and learning became virtual. I too attended some of these physician business centric summits, right? Online, free virtual summits for career diversification, right? When you hit the final frontier, you're not quite exactly sure where to go. And coaching is the only way to get there. As we both now have discovered that when there's no more mentors and when there's no more people around because you already achieved the pinnacle, then you start to realize I need to go where no one else has gone. And so that's actually how in new innovations, new programs, things come to light. So thank you so much for sharing your story about your journey from how you perceived it in such a common, probably stereotypical light that many physicians or many clinicians actually see coaching as. What's really funny when I talk to my C-suite or executive colleagues or people in business, coaching is normal.
Yeah.
Like coaching is normal way early in their careers, which is why both you and I have both sought to actually find our way to making sure that coaching is delivered much sooner in healthcare and medical education.
Yeah. In fact, I forgot to mention that I hired a coach in 2020 to help me. And really, I mean, I paid out of my own pocket for my coach. And my coach actually challenged me and gave me the opportunity to think deeply about what it is that I want and how am I going, and held me accountable to what I said I wanted. And as a result, I was able to become a lead co-director of my group. And there was a lot of transformation that happened as a result of that, which we are still using till today. I created opportunities for them to actually get to know each other, focused on celebrating what we have accomplished and achieved. All of this would not have been possible had I not had a coach that helped me.
Yeah. That's a really great perspective. I think a lot of people think that executive leaders are just born that way or they don't have a secret guide on the side. That's why I actually tell people, "I'm just your secret guide on the side," so that you can actually become the best version of yourself. And no one ever has to know the reality is I mean, well, although I also have a coach and same. It's interesting to realize there's so much depth of alignment that has to happen pretty often for you to be able to achieve the work and the life that is in alignment with the values that you have of how you want it to look and to craft it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so thank you for sharing the fact that all leaders have coaches and it's very normal and it is such an investment. And so I'm curious, could you tell me a little bit about the internal leadership program that you are leading at Seattle's children, the Leader as Coach program?
So the Department of Pediatrics trained these division heads as leaders as coach with the goal of giving them an opportunity to coach their faculty. So what I did was I created a program for early career faculty. And the reason I chose early career faculty is because they struggle with transition from being a fellow to an attending. The burnout rate is higher in early career faculty than it is in other mid-career or even senior leaders. And I felt like this is an opportunity for them actually align them, really have somebody hold them accountable for what it is that they want to do. To gain agency, because that's one of the things there. so used to saying yes, 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 yes to everything. But yes, yes may not necessarily be the best thing for them. So they begin to chart their way and begin to understand what it means to focus on what it is that they want and how to actually live into their potential. I felt like it was important for us to really invest in them. So I put together this program I went through the physician leaders program, and we had to do a project. They helped me with my project so I could think through it. I had a coach as well who helped me walk through the project in terms of what results am I looking for? How are we going to measure success of the program? So that was what I did. I put it together. I approached the department head, the leader, and she liked it. I did have a faculty sponsor, which was very good. He was Jack Salerno was my sponsor, and he was excited about this. He encouraged the department chair to train leaders as coach. So this became a great opportunity for them to utilize the training that they received to now coach the early career faculty. I did have to work with them on a monthly basis so that because physicians are used to mentoring, they're not
Mhm.
used to coaching. And so I had coaching clinics every single month so that the coaches had an opportunity to talk about how coaching was going for them. And then also do a practice coaching session that I could sort of like look through, give them feedback. So I did that every single month for our coaching and leaders as coach to help them coach effectively and stay coaching rather than shifting over to mentorship.
Right. I mean, so you touched on a really important distinction that most people are not aware of in most fields, nursing and physician alike. The fact that the mentorship, the advising and sponsoring and coaching, and that they are different skills. And yet, whenever you are in a leadership position, you actually do flex different skills in any different relationships, whether it be more casual as a peer with direct reports or direct requirements. And then also just even with really distant, right? Often you and I both are involved in national medical organizations for critical care. What's some of the most common misconceptions people have about, especially the physician leaders who are well-seasoned division chiefs or, clinical team leads or ICU directors? What are some of the biggest struggles whenever you're trying to decide with colleagues or younger physicians how to navigate that sponsoring versus mentoring versus coaching moment?
But some of them, again, they struggle to find a mentor. The good news is that for early career faculty, they started most universities put into place the scholarship oversight committee, which then helps them with making sure that they're on track to go through the process for promotion, that they have a scholarly activity that they're involved in. If it's research, if it's clinical research, if it's they have some form of mentorship. But again, it all depends on the degree to which you use your mentor. Not
Okay.
everybody looks at a mentor as an opportunity for me to discuss. And again, it's advising. So you go to your mentor advises you as to what they think, how they think you should navigate the system. They walk you through the process of if you're an academic medicine through the process of promotion, because the ultimate goal is being promoted to full professor and making sure that you follow the pathway that you need to follow.
Right.
So you're not stuck, yeah, an assistant professor for how many years that you move to the next rank and then to the next rank. And then also you engage in activities like leadership activities that so you have opportunity to advance your career, not just clinically, but also non-clinically. And because actually it is that non-clinical work that adds balance to your life that allows you to enjoy what you do because you work clinically and then you can break off and do something different to really give you an opportunity. The difficulty for leaders, they have all these people that they're trying to, faculty that they're trying to make sure stay within the ranks. Some people get frustrated and leave. Some people get burnt out and they have behavioral issues. Medicine is now, we have the electronic medical record that poses a significant burden to physicians. retention. Patients are frustrated because they feel that they don't have a voice. They feel that their voices are not taken into consideration. The administration is just adding more to their plate and asking them to do more with less. And so there's so many issues that have arisen within the medical field, especially after the pandemic. The pandemic really exposed the weaknesses of the system. And then obviously the administrators tried to put in physician wellness programs to try to address that, but didn't address some of the core issues like the EMR. How do we make the EMR work in a way that you're not spending all your time doing notes? So there are innovative ways that could be adapted as well. But also the idea of coaching helps you begin to look for the opportunities within the challenge. And I think that's where coaching really brings out the difference between advising and mentoring and sponsorship. Whilst you need all those things, I think being able to navigate the challenges that you face really come as a result of coaching.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to be able to see opportunities where there are lots of challenges and to have a self-awareness and a growth mindset that allows you to invest in yourself and to feel like you're moving towards a goal, because it's also action oriented. To create those wins for yourself and then celebrating the wins that you have, which then is a positive reinforcement and allows you to achieve your potential.
Right. It's so funny. All the things that you say are always the things that I talk about in terms of growth mindset. And I know you're an educator as well in training physicians. And it's one of those things that when you start to realize all of the cognitive science and all the foundational principles of learning now turned into adding in the positive psychology fundamentals, then gets you in action the practice of coaching, which is that process of realizing we do have agency and capacity to be able to find our way, even when there's been not a prior answer or a prior path, which is much more common in the advising or the mentoring roles. There might be some maybe hints, and then also some every time we try something different, even if it's been done before, it's done slightly with a different twist. And that just might be the solution, that each person, when they find the answer inside themselves, can actually bring a new perspective that actually is the solution that the team, the hospital, yourself needs to find the way forward. And so I guess I'm curious, because you do train and coach so many different generations of physicians, I'm curious, what do you hope for the next generation of physicians and physician leaders?
My hope is that it will get to the point where physicians will really find their why,
Mm,
in a sense. Why did I come into medicine? And what is it that I want to achieve here? Where they will become resilient physicians and not allow the stresses in the system to weigh them down. They'll find agency, that they have agency, that even when it seems like it is a they, if they say sweet, they themselves have agency to, and we're responsible for our results. And so that they walk in a way that they can achieve the results that they actually want, as opposed to letting things happen, but they contribute. And then again, with coaching, you develop an insight. Happy physicians they become innovative, so they can actually help the institution find ways to solve problems. And so I feel like that's some of the things that I expect to see as we develop leaders who are being coached, as we develop physicians who are being coached, that they will get to that point where not only will there be better patient care because So they're excited about what they do. They show up to work with a mindset of, I'm going to do this job. I'm going to do it to the best of my capacity. And I'm going to see the results improve as a result of that. Those are the things that I feel that medicine needs at this point. There's a lot of people leaving the workforce because they're frustrated. But I think if we begin to invest in people through
Mhm.
coaching, through other things, not just coaching, but even making the EMR work, giving people a sense of hope and a sense of purpose, that we would see a difference in healthcare, patient outcomes, and in satisfied physicians. We would see resilient physicians, and our retention will go up as a result of that.
I love that. And I know you're a physician executive coach, and at Transforming Healthcare Coaching, we will coach also executive administrators, nurses, nursing leaders. And I think the message, we are the organization. We actually are the
Yes.
they, right? We actually
Yeah.
do have a chance, no matter where we're coming from to this puzzle piece. We have a choice to allow the system to continue to be broken. And we also have the opportunity to make little baby pilots and to invest in these things. And over time, the culture changes. And so it's really wonderful that at Seattle Children's, they're willing to do these little tests of change that will continue to grow, because once the culture changes with one nidus of humans, it will continue to grow. And that it'll be a place that there isn't turnover. And that means that's less money lost. And that means there's more that, like, you just don't have certain problems anymore. If that people are more, we call it in our coaching terminology for energy leadership coaching, more anabolic. You just see opportunities, even in the face of really dark times. Even when it seems dark, there's actually light.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of coaching. You
Mhm.
partner in a thought provoking way so
Right.
that the client is able
Right.
to achieve their
Mhm.
goals.
What are the greatest challenges your healthcare leaders and your clients facing?
So financial pressure, workforce loss in revenue, loss in physician and provider departure because some of them are leaving the workforce, burnout, significant burnout, and also just poor patient outcomes as a result of that. These are some of the things that we are seeing happen as a result. And we just did our burnout and resilience scoring, like our gaining scores as well. And you see that there is a discrepancy. It's low because people are dissatisfied with the way things are run or how they perceive that things are run in the hospital system. Once you see that, especially burnout is significant. I mean, it creates a sense of disillusion. People are disillusioned with their job. They're not happy. And how can you approach a family or a patient if you're dissatisfied with it? It impacts patient care.
Mhm, it does.
So, and therefore impacts the outcome of that patient. So these are the things that we're seeing currently and they need to be addressed.
Yeah.
There's an urgency.
Yeah. I mean, you are right. The healthcare system is critically ill, both of us being adult AMPs. The fact that 2 out of 3 people, if you are just happen to be walking through the building, have some degree of burnout, and it does cloud not only attitudes, professionalism, and the potential to be able to make errors, and yet it's such a big problem that once the culture begets what it begets, right? In terms of once everyone begins to have a negative attitude, it's really hard for leaders to try to stem that. One person trying their best, two people trying their best. And so this is why a investment at a system level with things like a coaching program, things like a wellness program, things with targeted interventions that are customized to the group are really important, because it really has to be at the individual level that you're able to make change. There isn't a one size fit all. If there was no burnout is the same. No any one burn. Everyone always asks me my advice, since I burnt out 2 different times in my career, what exactly advice I would give them. And I'm just your burnout is your burnout. It's very individualized, unique to the constellation of your full identity. And so the only way to prevent it actually is coaching and to recover from it, to be able to get better from that situation. So I really do think that you have hit the nail on the head with those are the four main factors, the things that we're facing to know what to do next. And so hopefully all leaders have a coach somewhere helping them find their North Star so they cannot lose themselves in this quagmire of the system. Because when the leaders themselves have lost their way, it's no wonder the rest of us lose our way. It's really important for all of us to have leaders that continue to care for the people that they're working with, their teams, so that we can all work together. I'm curious if you had to leave our audience with 3 tips and perspectives on how they can level up in their life and career, what would they be? I know we don't normally give tips, but as coaches, but I know you have a lot of great wisdom and perspective.
I thought to myself, because then you can reach your full potential. So get clarity around your purpose. That would be one thing I'd say. The second thing I feel that is so important is looking for the opportunity in the challenge. Don't just see the challenge as a big thing, but begin to break it down into what is the opportunity in that challenge that I can avail myself of and allow myself to grow. And then the third thing is invest in yourself. You deserve it. Invest in your growth mindset, learn new things, and realize that failure is not a stop sign. It's an opportunity to pivot, to start again, and to grow.
Oh, those are lovely. That was such wonderful words of wisdom, Ndidi. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. I'm curious, where can people find you and how can they work with you?
On LinkedIn. But I do want to say thank you very much, Lillian, for this opportunity. I really appreciate being able to be given an opportunity because it's my story that really helps me become who I am and allows me to do what I do. Being open, being willing to be vulnerable, to share my own story. And so thank you. I've enjoyed working with you in the coaching space, the opportunity to coach other health professionals so that we create a culture of coaching in medicine, which is so needed today.
Yes, thank you so much, Ndidi. I would say that I think the times are coming. I mean, I know many medical schools have gone this way and realizing how important coaching is in the education world and the professional development and identity formation for physicians. And so hoping that culture will change over time. And yet we all have a role, whether we're external coaches, whether we're internal coaches, whether we're a leader, whether we're at the front line, everyone has their role to play and everyone deserves a coach. Your
Yes.
story resonates with so many people, right? I mean, so it's one of those things where, like you said, for us to come out here into this video, YouTube, apps, podcast land is for us to help another person realize that their story also matters. And hopefully you see a little bit of yourself in both of us. So
Thank you.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on, and for all of you that are listening, please share our podcast with other friends and colleagues in healthcare, and please email us to find out more opportunities on how to work with us, and email us to hear things that you want us to talk about. So if there's a burning question you have, email us at podcast@transforminghealthcarecoaching.com, and we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yay. Thanks so much for listening. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe and share with a colleague who would benefit. Together, we can transform healthcare one person at a time. Find us anywhere you find your podcasts. Ready to take your healthcare leadership journey to the next level? Book a discovery call free at transforminghealthcarecoaching.com to explore our personalized coaching packages designed specifically for healthcare professionals like you.